A couple of weeks ago, months ago, I asked you guys what kind of sit downs would you like to see, considering that I've got a lot of time on my hands, and you guys are just like dating. But you guys wanted me to talk about my dating experiences outside my baby daddies, and I was just like, guys, I don't have exes. I'm joking. Unfortunately, I have exes, tons of them. Hey guys, welcome to my channel and thank you so much for being here. How pretty do I look? So my cousin is a makeup artist, well, an aspiring makeup artist. She's an aspiring makeup artist, and you know, she's using my face. Like last December when I was in the streets a lot, she used to do my makeup, and I'm not in the streets currently, so we just did my makeup. It's just, I was a canvas and she's the artist. So I figured since I look so pretty, I might as well do a sit down. So I went through like a couple of weeks ago, months ago, I asked you guys what kind of sit downs would you like to see, considering that I've got a lot of time on my hands, and you guys are just like dating. But you guys wanted me to talk about my dating experiences outside my baby daddies, and I was just like, guys, I don't have exes. I'm joking. Unfortunately, I have exes, tons of them. Okay, so you guys asked me to talk about my dating experience outside my baby daddies, because I feel like for you to ask that, it means those are the only two people I speak about, and I only speak about them because they involve my children. Sadly, if we are me, I would never speak about them anyway, like ever. I would have never ever speak about these men. Those men, they disgust me, they repel me. But you know what, let us start. Let me take you back, all the way back. My dating experiences with men and women, you know what, when I think about it, I've actually had great dating experiences. It's just that sometimes when you're out of the situation, you just want to hate the person because they did you dirty or it didn't work out. But I can sit here and be like, you know what, I've had some good lovers in the past. I've got a lot of stories to tell my grandchildren about my lovers. We will start from the beginning. I started dating when I was 12 years old. Don't judge. I started school when I was 4, so I was always 2 years behind. So when I was 12 years old, I was in grade 8 in class with people who were 14. So don't think about the age, think about the grade. I know a lot of us started dating at grade 8. In primary school, I was scared of boys. I grew up scared of boys. Like I think most of us, you grow up being very, very scared of boys and scared of dating because boys bring babies. And I know this because I've got 2. I started dating in grade 8. So the story might be a little bit confusing because there's a lot of people that are involved, but the timeline is the same. Né? Let's just say Mama Mandy always knew to not date one person at a time. So I started dating when I was in grade 8. I met this boy. I've always liked hood niggas. I was born and bred in Nanda in Durban. But by the time I was in grade 8, my mom had moved us and we were living in Mbilo. If you're from Durban, you know Mbilo. It's like a little suburby area. Well, at that time it was suburbs. I don't know what it is now. I haven't been around there in a while. I still think it's suburby. So we lived in this little flat in Mbilo. But I always liked me hood niggas. So my first boyfriend was a hood nigga. I feel like I'm gonna use people's real names here because they don't watch my channel, A, and B, I don't look the same. I don't even think people know the people I went to high school with. The only person I went to high school with who knows me, it's my friend No Way. Everyone else, okay, no, I've got 2, 3 other friends that I went to high school. Not friends, but like people. I had my first hood nigga when I was 12 and he was 14. So one thing about me, I've always dated within my age range. I don't judge people who date older. I've always dated within my age range because I was scared of boys, and that thing really stuck in my head. Boys bring babies, and I always felt like older boys will give me babies. Got the boys my age I could manage, or my age group at least. If there was a 12-year-old boy in high school, I probably would have dated him. So I dated this hood nigga, Mashu, and at the same time I was dating. I always had 2 boyfriends at a time. Like, I'm not even going to like try to sugarcoat it. I was never a good girl. I always had 2 boyfriends at a time. So I was dating this guy, oh my god, the other one, Mashu. Now both of them, they were coming from the same hood but different sections. Whatever, I can't even remember. One was in my class and the other one wasn't. They knew about each other. It wasn't a thing back then. It wasn't a thing for me because the boys loved me, so they had to know about each other. They knew about each other, but obviously you will like one more than you like the other. So I liked the one who wasn't in my class. His name was Musa. I'm just gonna say his name. His name was Musa, and the one in my class, his name was Taban. And oh my gosh, I was treated like a princess because I've always like, you know, now that in hindsight, now even in my grown girl era relationship, whenever I'm with someone, I'm always treated like a princess. It's just that it's sometimes just so hard to admit because like but I'm always treated like a princess. Both these boys treated me like a princess, and I loved it. And I think that's when I realized, Guti, okay, this is cute. Problem with these boys, they had other girlfriends as well, and I guess it wasn't a problem because Namia had both of them at the same time. It's just that it was fun. I dated for fun. Even till this day, I'm going to fast forward a bit. Ayanda and I were having a conversation, and she was just like, she says to me, you know, when you're dating someone, do you ever look at them and think about your kids? I was just like, no. Like, I date for fun, guys. I don't date with intention. Like, I don't date to marry. I don't date to have children. Both my children, I love my kids to death, but both my children are not planned. Like, they just happen. I'm not an intentional person in dating. I date for fun, and I've always been that person. And even in high school when I started dating, I dated for fun. I just like dating for fun. So it was nice. I was treated like a princess on both ends. They had their other girlfriends. We all knew about each other. It was a lot of intersections going on, but without the, you know. And so that was fun, actually. Now that I think about it, I wish I could go back to dating like that. It was just like getting to know. Boys always gave me money. They always bought me things. The ones who could not give me money, they all buy me like Apple Munch. I mean, it may not seem, Apple Munch at that time was 50 cents. It might not seem like a lot, but it was actually a lot. 50 cents in 2000, when I was in high school, 2001. It was a lot, you know. So they'll buy me Apple Munch, they'll buy me a Tropica, they'll buy me, the ones with real money would buy me a pie. The ones who didn't have money would buy me like a snowball. I think a snowball was like R1. No, a snowball was cheaper than Apple Munch. I can't remember. But, you know, that's how I knew if they had money or not. Like, according to, if you buy me an Apple Munch, you don't have money. But if you buy me a Tropica, then you have money. That's how, you know, we'd gauge. That was fun. And then when I was in grade 10, all of that fizzled out. And then I met the love of my life. Love of my life, who unfortunately was murdered when I was in matric. I didn't meet him in grade 10. I mean, he had always been at the school, but in grade 10 I'm backtracking, I'm fast forwarding. Before I met the love of my life, this one, ne? I hope my mother doesn't watch this video. I dated a gangster in high school, guys. I was really young. It was fun because he gave me lots of money. I don't know where that money came from, but he gave me lots of money. Yeah, I was in grade 9 when I dated this guy, and once again, we were same age group, but he was in grade 10, but like same age group. I feel like I was forced into dating him, and I think that's most of the time cases when you do date a gangster or a gangster or whatever. It's not, what is this word? Guys, what is content? No, consent. I was forced into that relationship. He just decided one day, I guess he woke up one day and he decided Amanda was my girlfriend, and I became his girlfriend. Luckily he was cute, so it wasn't like difficult to be with him or date him. He was cute, he was a provider and a protector. Oh, he was a provider, and he was obviously, I'm dating a gangster. I was protected. He was a protector. I didn't really need much protection because I was a child. We were all kids, but I did go to a not so great school. If you are from Durban, especially in the south of Durban, you know Claywood High. We did not have a good reputation. Now the school has cleaned up, but when I was there, it was a horrible school. It was a Situationships, basically. Like, it was like studying in Situationships. There were cops every Friday at school coming to arrest someone. There was weed, there was drugs, it was just a lot. It was a lot, and I guess in a way I did kind of need protection. But yeah, like, this guy just woke up one day and decided about Amanda's my girlfriend, and I became his girlfriend throughout grade 9. And I wasn't scared of him. Funny enough, I wasn't scared of him, but he did, like, he was, oof, guys. I remember one day that guy came to school. He was suspended. He was always suspended at school, from school. One time he came to school driving a car. He was 16, I think, driving a car, and he took me out of the school. He lived in Lamontville. If you are from Durban, you know that Lamontville is not a kind hood. I don't know, maybe now it is, but back then, Lamonti. What? Lamonti. He lived in Lamonti, and he came to school one day. He grabbed me and a friend of mine, and he said, "We are leaving." And we left. Was he said Lamonti? Drove us around. We drove around. My God, we drove around. Eventually we get to this house. Eventually we get to this house, and he just like tells my friend and I to get inside the house. We got inside the house, and then inside the house it was actually quite cute. There was food, knickknacks, there was like snacks. He was a softie at heart, ne? And my friend and I chilled. All of this, guys, all the stories I'm about to tell you, I'll tell you when I started having sex. But just know that, disclaimer, all of this, there was no sex involved. And I think the boys loved me for that. I think maybe they thought I was a challenge, and they thought maybe one day I would give in. But I always knew that I'm not going to sleep with you. Like, I came from a very strict family. I don't know how to explain this in English, but yes, virginity testing. With my grandmother was very hectic on the virginity testing. So, like, I was never going to sleep with anyone. Like, I was scared of my grandma. I was scared of my family. So I've always known that I'm not going to have sex until the goal was marriage. But the goal was to not have sex until marriage, and then I was just like, this is so unrealistic. But anyway, so yes, disclaimer, there was no sexuals happening in during this time of my dating life. Yeah, my gangster boyfriend, yeah, he was very forceful in the way he did things. He dated me by force. He took me out of school, and that was not an isolated incident. Like, a week wouldn't go by. Whenever he was suspended, he would make sure that I was also suspended, because he would come get me at school. And luckily I didn't go to a Model C school, so my parents didn't know all of this was happening. And I hope that they don't watch this video, because there'll be days where I wouldn't come to school because I was with a boy. I don't want to talk much about my gangster boyfriend. I think that I actually don't even know if he's still alive. The relationship was tumultuous. It was a little bit abusive. As mentioned, a bit forceful in the way he did things. Like, he'd be like, we're going on a date. It wouldn't be a date, but like, we're going out. And whether I liked it or whether I wanted to or not, I didn't have a choice. So, that is, with that relationship. But eventually he got arrested for something, and he took my picture. He took my picture and went to jail, or juvenile, or wherever kids go when they're not doing it. No, it was of age. No, it was over 16, so juvenile or jail. I don't know where he went. And we never when he came back, I think his parents tried to put him in a straight and narrow line, so he didn't come back to the same school. So that's how me and him lost contact. But it was a fun relationship. It was a scary one. But I just remember that relationship. He was cute. I've always came now in daughter. My friend Boitumelo Tata always says, in daughter, yeah. I've always liked pretty boys. I love cute boys. I don't even compromise when it comes to looks. And thank God I don't compromise when it comes to looks, because look at my children. Their fathers ain't shit, but look at my children. They got the looks, And both my kids don't look like me, so my genes, both my kids said, hell no, we're not coming. And they took their father's genes, and luckily their fathers have good genes. So I've always been in Dota guys. A man needs to be cute. So I do remember my gangster boyfriend was cute, was a protector and a provider. Like, you know, the more I think about these things, like every guy I've ever dated provided what they could at the time for me. And yeah, no, I can't talk too much about him. But when he went to prison or juvenile, wherever fuck he went, I don't know where he went. There was a huge sense of relief on my end. Even the people around me were just like, we're relieved for you, because you never know those relationships how they end. Usually you don't end it. It's the same way that I didn't consent to the relationship. Is the same way you don't consent. You don't end it. They tell you when it's done. So luckily for me, he went to prison and life moved on. And that's when me and the love of my life started dating. And sometimes I always wonder if I call my late boyfriend the love of my life because he's late, because we always have good things to say about our late partners. I don't know, I know for sure obviously we wouldn't be together, or we would have broken up, but to keep that idea that we would have had this perfect life always makes me feel fuzzy inside. I met the love of my life. Well, he was at school, we started dating, and oh my god, he was from Mlazi. Guys, every boy I'm about to speak to, up until I'll tell you when it's time to change, they're from the hood. I don't know how many times I've said it on this video alone. I love hood niggas. I absolutely adore hood niggas, especially those ones who are book smart and street smart. I love hood guys, and I'm slowly trying to move away from the hood boys. But every time I try to leave, something keeps pulling me back. Anyway, I started dating the love of my life. He was from Mlazi, but he was from the upper Shalant. Mlazi got PP, stays the corner, the suburbs area. Every hood has that area that is suburby. So he lived there. He was a bit of a cheese boy, but who also had like street cred and all. Oh guys, oh my god. The relationship was great. I'm not even gonna lie. He treated me very, very well. He gave me the most money. He gave me like 5 rand. The love of my life, he used to give me the most money. He'd give me like 5 rands, 10 rand. One time he gave me 10 rand. Guys, it was a lot. Like, it might not seem like it's a lot now. It's like someone right now giving you like 1,000 rand. That's a lot for me. Or 10,000 rand, it was a lot. He used to give me 10 rand when he felt like I deserved it. I was a good girl or whatever. Loved him. We made plans. It was the first time actually I dated one person at a time. Well, with my gangster boyfriend, I didn't have a choice but to date him and only him, because if I didn't, he was probably going to kill me or get me killed. I don't know. Then with this one, I was so intentional about just having one boyfriend, just focus, even though he had me with another girl. Luckily, she was such a sweet girl, and luckily I feel like both of us know each other's places. We knew our places. We never bothered each other, and mind you, we're all at the same school. We never bothered each other. And I remember when he was stabbed, his friends, I didn't have a phone, he got stabbed, and his friends came to my house to tell me that he got stabbed, and we went immediately to the hospital with his friends, and she was there. I found her there, and she left the room and she greeted me, and then I walked in and I sat there and I spoke to him. Like, we've always had that mutual respect for each other, but now that I think about it, we were so dumb, but we were young. But yeah, dated him. We had plans. I think what attracted me more to him was the fact that we're in England. I love hood guys, but I always felt like in school their vision ended at matric. He had a vision. His vision was, his sister was in the UK, and he always said to me, when we are both done here, we are both going to the UK, we're going to study there, we're going to make something out of our lives. And that meant a lot to me, because the school I went to and the environment I grew up in didn't allow us to dream. I think I've said this before in my vlog, poverty and growing up poor, it stops you from dreaming because you don't see better. I think you see things on TV or whatever, but they seem so far for you. Like, poverty is crippling. Poverty kills, and poverty kills dreams. And the environment I grew up in, we didn't see life after matric. We were always told, I remember my grandmother always used to tell me, you need to finish matric so you can get out of the hood. And there was a time where I got to matric and I was just like, okay, I'm done with matric, now what? I'm done with matric and I'm out of the hood, now what? You know, we were never taught to dream beyond matric. And I think it's just because there's no representation. Once people leave the hood and they make it, they don't come back. So representation in the hood, Ayiko, and dating him, he had representation, which was his sister. So dating him and talking to someone who tells me that, don't worry, after here we're going to go study, and we're not studying at the UT or I says that, guys, if you're from Durban, I'm sure I says, you're not studying there, we are going overseas. And that for me, I love that man for seeing a vision for not just for himself but for me as well, and including me in his vision. And it was actually because of him that I started actually looking at universities and what life after matric would look like. And I'll always be grateful to him. May his soul rest in peace. We made plans that we will start having sex after matric. He said he was obviously older than me, so he said that we will have sex when I turn 18. So he would wait for me because I finished matric at 16 and he was 18 at that time. So we dated throughout my grade 10, grade 11 and matric. And when we were in matric, unfortunately, a week before our matric dance, unfortunately, he was stabbed and passed away at the hospital a couple of days later. But he passed away a couple of days before our matric dance, and that will always obviously be a sore spot for me because I was supposed to go with him. We had plans, like we had a lot of plans, and he passed away in the most inhumane way. He was stabbed and oh my god, and he was stabbed on his way back from visiting me. And so I always, like, there's a little bit of guilt that I carry, but he was one of my greatest loves. Like, I loved that boy, and I also loved him because he loved me a lot. I think he loved me more than I loved him, and I loved him. So you can imagine all the love that was happening there. And in between all of this, I did date a girl. I didn't date a girl in high school, but my first kiss was with the girl. So there are women involved, obviously, in my dating life, but a serious relationship comes a bit later. After the love of my life passed away, I just became reckless. He passed away in September when we were writing, what are those exams called? The ones you write before the big exams in matric. Those exams you write in September before. Passed away around that time. Matric dance, it was a lot, and after he died, I became a wreck. I became a wreck in a way that I just didn't care for myself. I was always sleeping. I tried committing suicide more than once. It was just a lot, and then that's when my mom introduced me to therapy and I started seeing the light. But during that time of me being a wreck, I decided to I felt like the person I was supposed to do life with, sleep with for the first time, go to varsity with, like I say, what am I here for, what am I doing? And I became extremely reckless with my life. And then I just went and decided some guy I knew from my hood broke my virginity, and it was like, okay, you know, I just do it because the person I'm supposed to do it with is not here anymore. Then after that, I took a gap year. It was unintentional gap year. I felt sick when it was time to go study. I applied for journalism. I've always known I wanted to do journalism. Well, my English teacher, isn't it always the English teacher? My English teacher told me that, you know, you're good at writing, you're good at expressing yourself, and you're good at speaking, so how about you study this thing called journalism? And at that time, I thought journalism was going to war in Pakistan and reporting on the war. But she was like, there's lots. You can be a magazine writer, you can write books, you can, you know, and I ended up actually writing for magazines, so that was great. But during that gap year, I went and worked at Wimpy, and at Wimpy I dated like this boy. It was fun. It was just for fun. Whatever. I knew Guti was temporary because I had plans on moving out of Durban, and I came to Pretoria, and then before I met Alwanda's dad, I met someone. He's married now. I think he's on his second baby. We're still cool. I'm actually cool with a couple of my exes. Now that I think about it, the only exes I'm not cool with are my baby daddies. Otherwise, I'm cool with all my exes. Like, we're cool. Like, I see him on Instagram. He's got also on baby number 2 now. Our relationship was extremely short. I think it was probably like 3 months. And I was just like, oh hell no. He wanted like a relationship, and I was just like, I'm young and I'm free and I'm and I come from a very strict family, so all this dating that I did in Durban was behind my parents' back. I used to date during the day, and that's why everyone that I dated had to be at the school. I didn't date in my neighborhood because when am I seeing you? Anyway, so for the first time when I got to Pretoria, I was like, I'm young and I'm free. I'm a hot girl. I don't want to be tied down in a relationship. Where? Then I met Alwanda's dad. Didn't only tie me down in a relationship, he tied me down the baby. A whole baby. A baby. I mean, she's 16 now. She's great. She's amazing. But a baby. And yeah, I felt like, okay, you know, when you have a child when you're young, unfortunately, boys your age don't want you no more because you have a kid, you know. And yeah, I also didn't want to date after that. I was just like, whatever. And then the best relationship of my life came. I met a girl. Oh, I met a girl. Best relationship ever. Best relationship ever. And I cheated on her. I fucked up. I cheated on her with another girl. And she couldn't move past it. Fucked up, you know. That's the one part. Sometimes I look at her Instagram and I'm just like, yo, take me back, forgive me. I messed up. I messed up. I lost her, and after that I started dating this guy who ended up cheating on me with my best friend. I was just like, oh my god, is this karma? I was just like, oh my god, whoever my ex-girlfriend prayed to is a strong person, because I cheated on her with her friend, and now this person, literally the person I met immediately after that, cheated on me with my friend. Yeah, it's karma. It was karma then. Oh, that's sad now that I realize. Oh, I fucked up. No, I fucked up real bad. It's one of the very few things in life I regret. I don't have a lot of regrets in life, but cheating on her and just losing her in that way, we were probably never going to get married or whatever, but like I didn't want to lose her that way, and losing her in that way was one of my biggest regrets. Like I don't regret a lot of things. I do things with intention. Whatever I do things knowing, but this is what I'm doing, and by the time I do things, I've already thought about the outcome and stuff. But in this particular instant, I didn't think about the outcome. I just got caught in the moment, and I lost someone that I would have liked to continue a relationship with. Then after her, as mentioned, I met the guy who cheated on me with my best friend. So, that was hurtful. But then now that I'm sitting here thinking about it, I'm just like, sure, now I actually know how my ex-girlfriend felt. And after that guy cheated on me, then I became for the streets. Yo, guys, I became for the streets. I was dating anyone who was available. I was just like, for the streets. I want to eat whole face. Guys, dating girls, guys at the same time. I was just all over, and I just had a baby. Well, the baby was probably 2 or 3 at that time, but I was just like all over. Then I met the guy who ended up being let's call him my fiance. I don't like calling him my husband. Let's call him my fiance. And I'm meeting that guy. He ended up being the best and worst thing that ever happened to me. I was in a long-term relationship, and it became abusive on year 3. Like, we moved very, very fast, and he was very intentional about. On our first date, we met at a club, and our first date was just like, we met at a club on a Friday. We went to spot on Gandhi Square, but we didn't meet there. We met on the bus. So we used to take the same bus, the metro bus, to work, and our workplaces were like a walking distance to each other. So he would get off first, and I'd get off next. We met, like, we'd always look at each other. You know, when you look at the love of your life on the bus, just stealing looks and stuff. But I think he was shy, and no matter what, I will never approach a man. I will never hit on a man. So he was shy, and he didn't. And then one time, it was December, the 15th of December, and I remember telling my friends, like, guys, like, fuck no, like, if I don't see this guy in the bus today, when will I see him? What if he changed jobs? Because we were closing for December holidays at my job, and the 15th of December was our last day. And I remember telling my friends, like, I have to see this guy in the bus. I have to see him. And if I don't, like, I have to see him. And if I see him, I'll actually tell him that I like him. Because what if he changed jobs? What if I never see him again? Blah blah blah. And I believe that this is my husband. And I didn't see him in the bus that day, but law and fate and the universe clearly hurt me, because my friends were just like, okay, let's just go out. Clearly you're sad. And we went Kospotong. I don't know if it still exists, Kospotong in Gandhi Square. And guess who was there? And he was there by himself. Well, he was there with his friends, and his friends were there with girls. And he was just like, he was drunk, obviously, liquid courage. And he was like, you're the girl in the bus. I have to. We swapped numbers on the same day. It was the 15th of December. Then he told me on that day, tomorrow he's going to a wedding, and he'd like for me to come with as his +1. I was just like, guys, I got on 3 taxis to make it to this wedding. The wedding was in Soweto. I did not care. I had to see that man. I got on 3 taxis. I met him at the wedding, and the rest was history. You know, our relationship was beautiful in the beginning. It was fast, it moved fast. I think on month 2 or 3, we on that day, on the 16th of December, he told me that, you know, I'm gonna marry you one day. Like, I actually want you to be my girlfriend now, but one day I'm gonna marry. I want you to be my wife. And I was just like, psh, psh, psh. Kept his promise, I guess. But oh my god, like, our relationship was moved fast. Like, within 3 months we were living together, and we grew together. Like, I mean, yeah, on year 3 he did become, you know, physically abusive, but like before that, I was treated well. Like, as mentioned, I feel like, and now that I think about all my relationships, I've always been treated like an egg, and he made sure that I was treated like an egg. You know, we had our differences, but we always made it work. It was actually, that's why I'm saying, it was the best and worst relationship of my life, and I learned a lot there. I was young. I mean, I was 22, I think, when I got into it, or 23, or younger. Can't remember, but I was young. We stayed together for almost 6 years, and Jesus fucking Christ. We traveled together, we made plans together, it was an amazing relationship. I met his son. He didn't meet, oh no, he met Alwande. I think by year 4 he met Alwande. It was a beautiful relationship up until it wasn't, and then when it wasn't, it really became bad. I almost lost my life, so I just, you know, I knew it was time to go. And I think he also was unhappy with himself and also unhappy with our relationship. But I think because, you know, society, we had this thing of being together for a very long time. We've been together for some time, and we need to, like, make it work. We tried to make it work. He tried to make it work by, you know, proposing marriage. And I think that a lot of people always think that a baby or marriage will fix things, and I always knew that it's not. You know, it's just going to amplify the problems that we have already. And luckily he came from a supportive family, and I also, one thing about my family, extremely supportive. Whatever decision you make, we will support. If you don't like that decision anymore, we will be on your side as well. So it was easy for us to just be like, you know what, let's just, marriage is not going to work out for us. I think that we did counseling, therapy, we did all of that, and we were just not going to work. I was holding on to too much hurt and resentment and pain, and it was never going to work. We were going to hate each other. We were actually going to kill each other. And I remember there were times where I would look at him and think, I'm going to kill you. That's how much hate and resentment I ended up having for him towards the end. So I made a decision to walk away. You know, walked away after almost 6 years of being with someone, and it was not easy. Staying is easy. Like, one thing I've always known about relationships, staying is easier. Walking away is very hard, because you have to walk away from you're familiar. This is your world. This person has been your world. You're walking away from your routine. Every day I used to wake up next to this person. We bath together. We go to work together, because we worked in the same, you know, same street. We go to work together. Our lives, we were one. Our friends ended up having the same friends. So now imagine walking away from all of that, because you're walking away from routine, and literally after walking away from that relationship, I had to start over. And that's when my friendship with Ayanda actually bloomed, because Ayanda and I met in the midst of all of that. And I don't think she'll ever know, well, if she watches this she'll know, but she helped me actually find myself again by taking me outside. One thing Ayanda will do is take you outside. And loves being outside. She's always loved being outside, and she took me outside, and that actually saved me. And after that relationship, I obviously decided I was just gonna stay single because it was a lot. It was a long relationship. It was a lot, and emotionally, mentally, I was damaged, even physically, because like some scars. Even though other people didn't see it, I always saw them. I had a lot to recover from, and I just gave my time. Then I met this other guy. He became my first situationship. At that time, we didn't even call them situationships. What did we call? Friends with benefits. Friends with benefits. Woo! Very, very nice experience. I wouldn't do it again, but it was a very nice experience. I do think that now in hindsight, as a grown woman, I do feel like situationships only benefit men. But at that time, I saw this person. It was a very good looking person. We met at 86. And I was with Ayanda when I met him. And he's very, very good looking, tall, handsome, dark. Me and him are still cool, even Namanja. He's good. He's good, and he was good with me. But I always looked at him, and when you look at someone, you're just like, you are not my husband. You are not my future. Like, we're good. You're good here. You're attractive, and you're just good for a good time, if you know what I mean. And while I was still having a good time with him, I met and I fell for Milani's dad. And then I just told him, I was just like, you gotta go. I got a man who loves me, a man who wants to be with me. Where? I'm gonna skip Milani's dad part because you guys have heard the story so many times. I'm gonna skip that part. But Milani's dad and I broke up in December 2020, January 2021. And I actually haven't been able to get myself into a full committed relationship since then up until now. I moved back home after Milani's dad broke my heart, and I stayed at home. I was very intentional about being home, not dating, being celibate. I was celibate. I went for 3 full years without being touched by a man. In hindsight, I regret going that long. I think a year would have been enough. 3 years without sex. I'll never advise anyone to do it. I locked myself in the house. I kept myself indoors. I locked myself in the house, and I focused on raising my children. And I did that, and I'm very proud of myself for that. But I missed out on so many things. I missed out on vacations, love, sex. I missed out on dates. I missed out on a lot because I was trying to heal myself, only to find that you actually don't heal when you're single. The only way for you to heal, well, for me to heal, is in a relationship. Because when you're single, nobody's triggering you. No one triggered me. No man was in my sights. No man was around. So I was just like, I'm good. I'm healed. I thought I was healed until I met this guy last year that I actually wanted to be with. I've spoken about him on this channel. I think I've even showed him. Maybe I didn't show his face, but like I went to his house. We did like a little cute cheese boardy picnic because I'm a lover girl. That guy had a lot of red flags. But you know what? Red is my favorite color. That guy had a lot of red flags. I mean, he had like 3 kids by 3 different women when I was dating him. Apparently he's on baby number 4 now, baby mama number 4. Like, oh, that could have been me. 3 kids by 3 different women is already a red flag, because how did you not make it work with at least one? Now that I think about it, I'm like, you've got 3 kids by 3 different women. So when are you just go around leaving a trail of broken homes? You just go around leaving a trail of heartbreak. And I don't even know. Oh, guys, hindsight is the best sight, is it? Because how did I stay? And that's when I knew I wasn't healed. Because why would you stay with that? Why would you even find that attractive? He was attractive though. Oh, darling. Oh, he's a hot man. Oh, he's so cute. But he's like, and also his actions. I think it was the first time in my life dating a man where I felt like, you don't like me. You don't like me. Like, you actually don't like me. I think you like the idea of me. You like who I am, or you like what I bring, but you don't like me. Like, his actions, that man didn't like me. Damn. Sure, such a sad realization. He didn't like me. And eventually I had to wake up and smell the coffee, and I see for myself, wow, this person doesn't like you. And thanks to TikTok. Yo guys, TikTok has helped me navigate so many relationships, and I'm very grateful for it. Thanks to TikTok, I was able to realize that this person doesn't like me. So I broke it off with him towards the end of the year. And we're back to square one, back on the streets, back to throwing ass in a circle. Throwing ass in a circle. And then we are now in 2024, and earlier this year, I think I've spoken about Mr. Not So Compatible on my channel before, and I remember someone saying, oh, she once had a Mr. Not Compatible, and that Mr. Not Compatible ended up being her husband. Not here. It's someone I've known for a very, very long time, and we just decided, you know what, let's try it. When I tell you not compatible right now, and it was another situationship, and I realized this is not going to work for me. But now your girl is loved up. Guys, for the first time, not for the first time, I think that for the longest time I thought it was for the first time, but now that I'm narrating and thinking about reflecting on my past relationships, I did believe that I wasn't loved, right? But I was. I've actually had some good experiences with good men in the past, and women. Yo guys, I have to say, like, obviously I'm not going to talk about each and every person that I've ever dated, but I've dated a couple of women, and I know for sure that my soulmate is a woman. My soulmate is a woman, and I can't wait to meet her. But up until I meet her, I'm going to enjoy whoever comes. I don't date for marriage. I believe we are here to experience people. So whoever I date, I always tell myself, I look at someone and be like, it would be nice to get 5 years with you. It would be nice to get a year with you. It would be nice to get 10 years with you. I don't believe in forever. I don't want to love one person for the rest of my life. I'm sorry. Like, whoa. Oh, is that maybe you guys? Why did I almost drop my camera after saying that? And I was about to say that I know that I might offend a lot of people, especially married people, because that's the whole point of marriage, to love one person for the rest of your life. Nah, I'm not there. Nah, I don't mind getting married 3 to 4 times. I don't mind, because I want to experience people. I want people to experience me. I'm 35 now, ne? I'm 35. If I get married now, and life expectancy, what's happening to my English? It's because I don't work. I don't use English a lot anymore. But life expectancy of a woman is 72. I'm 35. So you're telling me for the next 37 years, if I get married now, for the next 37 years, I'm going to be with one person? No. No, what? I've got 37 years to be loved by different people, because you know, like they always say, you haven't met the person who's still going to love you, right? I've got the next 37 years to meet other people. So each person in my life, my longest relationship was 5 years, 5-6 years. Let's say 5 years, because the last year I was there but I wasn't there, and he was there but he wasn't there. And I'm willing to give people 5 years. Each and every person who comes into my life, I will give you, okay, let's say this. Each and every person who I date will get 2 to 3 years. If I choose to marry them, they will get 3 to 5 years. You know what I mean? 5 years being max. I want to experience people. I want to date. I want to get married, actually, just to experience that. But I'm here to experience people, and I'm here for people to experience me. So that's why I just don't want to be with the same person for the rest of my life. The person that I'm with now, I have to say that I'm with someone. I met them a couple of months ago. I met them through Ayanda, actually. Ayanda, it is a gift. And when I tell you that I don't even know my name when that man is around, I am the softest I've ever been in his presence. I am the under, like, even my friend Tado the other time, we were all together, and Tado was just like, who are you? Who is this? As a single mom who's a firstborn daughter, you're always on go. Like, you always have to, everything has to be under your control. And it's so nice to be with someone who I don't have to be in control of anything. You know, it's so nice to be around someone who just says, exist. I'll take care of you, just exist. And that's where I don't want to talk too much about men, because you know that once you start bragging about them, once you post them on social media, they will embarrass you. So I don't want to talk too much about that, but just know that your girl is being loved, your girl is soft, your girl is being catered to, your girl is I'm in my under era, guys. I'm in my under era. And I'm loving every moment. I'm loving every moment. So I do hope that this, as mentioned, I did not talk about each and every person I've dated. I just highlighted the ones that meant a lot to me. There have been others. There have been a couple of others, but these are the ones that have meant the absolute most to me. And that these are the ones where I've learned a lot about relationships, about myself, and I take every lesson to wherever I go next. I do hope that the one I'm with now, we do get 2 to 3 years. Yeah, now even a year, actually, you know what, even a year would be great with him. But so born. But as mentioned, you guys, like, I'm here to experience people. I'm still gonna be dating. I'm gonna be dating. I might get married 2, 3 more times. But yeah, I'm here to experience people. But marriage is a bit difficult because I'm a full-time mother, but that's another topic for another day. But yeah, like, I hope that this covered what you guys have been curious about. There's just some things, but I hope that it covered or gave you an idea of where your girl's been. Your girl's been around. Your girl's been around the block. I've been around the block, and I've learned so much about myself and relationships through the people that I've been around the block with. But anyway, we don't know what, you know, the next 3 years, 5 years bring, but I will always update you on my dating life and my dating experiences. I do hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Let me shut it down now. I've been rambling. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you